Not too many people are here today, but we'll whisper just in case.
The interior is really lovely.
Yes, indeed. But it's worth noting that for nearly 200 years, they barely decorated the interior.
But the works of art that we see here, did you know that?
Don't mix everything up. I don't want to mix the themes. I promise we'll come back to it when we talk about art on the Beautiful Features cassette.
Okay. No problem. We'll stick to the history on this cassette.
First, you have to keep in mind that what you see today is a result of the shrine's two restorations. The first one was in 1903, 1904. The second in 1926 to 1927.
I know, Grandma, you're wondering why we mentioned that a third church had been built. So, what was the purpose of the small shrine?
This location would be dedicated to Our Lady of the Rosary. The small shrine is also called the Chapel of Our Lady of the Rosary.
I've always wondered what a rosary is.
Actually, from what I understand, a rosary is a crown of roses, while a chaplet is a small hat made of flowers. So when you pray to a chaplet or recite the rosary, you are weaving a crown of prayers for the Blessed Virgin.
Oh, so it's a kind of spiritual communion.
A rosary consists of reciting a chaplet 3 times. One is called joyful, another is called sorrowful, and the last one is called glorious.
I thought that Grandma recited 4 of them.
You're right. That's because John Paul II added a 4th one called a luminous. So since then, a rosary has consisted of reciting a chaplet 4 times.
That makes for quite a few Hail Marys.
In fact, 200 of them.
200?
That's because a rosary consists of 5 decades of Hail Marys, the small beads. So 4 times 5 decades is 200.
Do you remember the names of the large beads? The ones that separate each of the 5 decades?
Those are the padre beads.
I don't think so. They're called paters in Latin.
Padre is the Italian word, however, both mean father.
And the mother is Mary, the famous hail used for the Hail Marys.
Our Lady of the Rosary is one of the 1,001 ways to represent her.
1,001! But we're not going to name them all.
Actually, it's a figure of speech because we know that Mary is everyone's mother. So every community, no matter where it is in the world, will represent the mother of Jesus as it sees fit.
So, in some corners of the world, Mary has black skin or darker skin or Asian features.
She even wears clothes from different cultures, such as a kimono or an African dashiki. She's everyone's mother, so she dresses like everyone.
Which means that she can be named in several ways according to the region's customs and practices.
According to natural phenomena, toponymy, and illnesses.
Illnesses? I've never read that.
Our Lady of the Cough.
The patron saint of frogs in the throat.
There's also Our Lady of Lightning, Our Lady of the Port, Our Lady of the Ant, Our Lady of the Vines, Our Lady of Lily, and Our Lady of Lourdes, and here, of course, Our Lady of the Cape.
Grandpa always said that Our Lady of the Cape was a lighter version of Our Lady of Lourdes.
Huh?
Lourdes means heavy in French.
Right. There are many of them. Our Lady of Peace, of Grace, of the Great Return, of the...
Fortunately, musicals weren't written for every one of Our Ladies.
You know, the Hunchback of Notre Dame was named in her honor. I mean the cathedral, not the musical.
Mary is therefore the most universal woman on earth, immediately followed by Grandma.
And even in heaven.
That's true. She's the maternal mediator, the mother of mercy.
And a certified lawyer who deals with God himself. She defends and protects her children against injuries caused by their own faults.
Wow! We don't even know who the devil's advocate is, but we know who God's advocate is. I want Mary on my team.
So you see that the rosary is of the utmost importance to Grandma, but especially for the small shrine. It's at the very heart of why this place was built. The same goes for the third church, raised in 1880, that would become St. Magdalene's Oratory.
Oh yes, because of the Rosary Bridge.
And the story of the pig and the rosary.
That story explains why a third church was built.
It's like a prologue, actually.
Once upon a time, when the parish was rather gloomy, back in 1864, Father Luc Desilets arrived out of the blue, even if airplanes had yet to be invented. As soon as he arrived, he noted that religious observance was rather weak among parishioners. Let me tell you, on the eve of the Ascension in 1867, the Ascension, when Christ went to heaven, well, at that important moment for the Christian faith, Father Desilets noticed that no one was coming to his confessional. It's not that sin no longer existed, but no one cared about it. Before turning back, he made a small detour to the presbytery to express his grief and sorrow before the altar. But when he opened the door to the church, Father Desilets came face to face, eyeball to eyeball, nose to nose. A pig was standing there in front of him. It had come in through the open door. The large boar was having a grand time with the rosary that a parishioner had dropped. Each Hail Mary and each Our Father was being chewed as if the apocalypse was happening. The 4 dogs of the apocalypse. I don't know what prayer he recited or to which saint he appealed, but the pig in question escaped from the sacred precinct. Parishioners are dropping their rosaries and pigs are picking them up. This is surely a message from God. Father Desilets rushed to the altar, knelt in penance, and swore to restore devotion to the Holy Rosary throughout the parish. During that year, the priest devoted himself to the Queen of the Holy Rosary by reading, praying, studying, meditating, celebrating masses, going door to door with his missal and Holy Rosary. He preached the Rosa Rose Rosam to all the men and women in his parish, to all the wide-eyed settlers and lambs. I don't know if he convinced his parishioners with a wrestling hold, the sacrament of forgiveness, or if he just cried uncle, but 300 people joined the confraternity of the Most Holy Rosary. A new church would be needed for such a large number of people. The spirits are ready, the parish is ready, anything can become a place of history and mysticism. And you'll ask me, what about the pig in all this? Well, in another story, he's said to have built himself a brick house. He no longer chews a rosary, he recites it every night to keep the wolves away.
Oh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. My brother got a little carried away.
Shut off the recorder, Constance. We'll just step outside. But thanks for the near-standing ovation. Ladies, you may remain seated.